Driving for work? Don't leave money on the table. Business mileage is one of the most overlooked tax deductions, and QuickBooks Online can help you track it automatically. I'm Jenny, and in this video, I'll show you how to track business mileage in QuickBooks so you can stay audit ready and keep more of what you earn. Business mileage can be recorded in a few different ways. I'm going to show you how to do it on the online version, and I'm also going to show you how to do it in the app. We're going to start in the online company, where again in the sample company, Craig's Design and Landscaping Services. I always have a hard time finding mileage in here. I don't know why. So I usually type it in this search bar and it will take you directly to it with this link. I did, however, find where it was today. It's in expenses down in mileage. You can see here that it does give you this QR code right here for you to get the mobile app. If you don't have it, you can definitely come here and scan it, or you can just look for it in the App Store. It's just the regular QuickBooks app. I will show it to you in a little bit. For right now, we are going to add a trip manually. Right now, there's no data in here. This company has not recorded any mileage. They have, however, entered some vehicles in here. You can come in here and add your vehicle. I'm just going to use one of the ones that are already in here. I'm going to manually add this trip. I need to make sure I select the correct date for this trip. I'm going to choose Monday. I need to add a distance in here. I'm just going to say it was 5 miles. And I would add an address for my start point and my end point. I also need to make sure I select whether this was business travel or personal travel. If you're manually adding trips, you do not need to put personal travel in here. This will be more important when we're looking through the app because you'll be tracking all of your trips. You do need to add a business purpose here. You can either click this drop down and there are some options here, or you can type in the box something different and you can add a new thing. So if I were to say meeting, I could add meeting as my business purpose. I am just going to select meeting with client for right now. I need to make sure that I choose the correct vehicle that this trip happened in. For most of us, we'll just have one vehicle on here. And I can also toggle this switch and it will create a round trip. Basically, I am saying I went from point A to point B. It was 5 miles and I went there and I came back. So I'm going to select this toggle and it will create 2 trip entries. One of them is going to start at point A and go to point B, and the other one will start at point B and at point A. You can see on my chart here, I have a potential deduction of $7, but I don't have anything in here. That's because I manually entered this trip, so it is actually reviewed. It's in here in my business travel, and you can see the 2 different entries that it made. We are also going to go into the app and look at some things in there because there are some really cool features in the app. Now I am sharing my cell phone screen so that I can show you the app. This green QB, that is QuickBooks app that you need to use. When you log in, you will be brought to this dashboard, and there's a bunch of different things that you can do in here, but right now we're going to focus on our mileage. I am going to go to the menu and I'm going to click on mileage. If you are traveling a lot for work, you might want to turn on auto tracking. What auto tracking does is every time you get in your car to go somewhere, your mileage app will be running in the background on your phone. So it's going to record every single trip that you take. Even if you forget to record, it will be recording in the background. If you do travel a lot for your business, you might want to turn this on. You can do that by going to auto tracking and toggling it on. There might be some things you need to change in your settings for this to work, but once you toggle it on, it will record all of your trips. Once it is on, you will see in this area your unreviewed and reviewed trips. Any trip that you take will show up in here, and you will have to go through and fill in all the things that we filled in on our online version. You'll have to say where you were coming from, where you were going, what was the purpose, and you would have to select if it was a business or personal trip. And that's going to be a lot more important when we're doing this auto tracking, because there will be personal trips in there as well. Another thing that you can do in here is manually add trips in here. If I click on this green plus button, I can do a few things here. I can add a vehicle from here. I can create a trip from here, or I can create a rule that will help us categorize our trips if we're using the auto tracking. I'm going to select create trip. I can manually add things in here just like I did on the website. I can also from here track a trip. So if I am getting in my car, say I'm not using auto tracking, I'm getting ready to get in my car to go to a business meeting, I can track my trip. I can go ahead and start this, and I don't even have to add an address in here because it's going to use my phone's GPS. I'm going to click on start trip, and then when I get to my location, I'm going to select stop. And it's telling me this is an error because I'm sitting in my house making this recording. So it's not going to actually record anything, but when you do go, it's going to ask you all those same questions that it asked on the previous two. That is another way that you can also track. When you track mileage in real time, you don't miss deductions, and you don't have to scramble at tax time. Make it a habit and let QuickBooks do the hard work. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Your question might be featured in an upcoming video. Thanks. Bye.